Hello, my friends. Good evening. This is Angela Stewart from Miami Inner Light, and we are here right now live at the page of Miami Inner Light because we were giving a lecture today, a talk about spirituality in the time of crisis, talking about leaving the phase of tests and atonements and going to the phase of regeneration. And because of this, lots of difficulties are going to be exposed. We're going to be facing lots of difficulties. And then, boom, my internet went off of the whole house. And I didn't know. I continued talking a long time and I didn't even know we didn't have internet and you guys were not listening to me anymore, neither seeing the slides. So I'm here just to try to finalize the little portion that was missing. Unfortunately, I don't have the availability of using the slides anymore, but I still want to finish the lecture. So even if you cannot see the pictures I connected and the books that I used, I will be talking about it, and I hope you can benefit from it and you can understand the message, because the message was really a message of a positiveness. So it was important for us to understand that every time a planet goes through a change, a big change like that, there will be convulsions. There will be lots of things that will have to be changed and adapted in order to progress. Like in everything in our lives, every time we have to progress, we have to make efforts, and sometimes we will face barriers, and it can be very difficult, but we have to persevere in order to be able to overcome this obstacle, and then we can, boom, become really something positive. So when the lecture got interrupted, I was talking about the fact that we can change our atonements. And what are our atonements? I had spoken a lot about this before, but atonements are before we did in the past, or in usually in past lives. And we committed mistakes in past lives, we did horrible things, and then we have this negative energy imprinted in our conscience. So one day or other, we will have to go through these atonements to be able to progress, to be able to evolve in our lives. So I was giving the example that I gave in the lecture of people in the Brazilian circus, that the circus got on fire in Niterói, Rio, and most of the people there perished. But my teacher, who in the time was a little kid, she was able to escape. So the story was that the people could not get out. There was only one exit. Her parents, unfortunately, got stuck with all the people, and somehow one person was able to pull her from underneath the tent, and she was able to escape. But why I'm telling this story? Because in this circus that burned, they were in a previous life, they were going through an atonement that in previous lives, in the time of the Christians, from the past. They were the ones going to the Colosseum and many circles to watch the first Christians to die. So the first Christians, they were going to death in a very positive way. They were singing and they were praising God, but there were the people who were there to watch this happening, to watch these people to be killed. And they thought this was fun, this was entertaining. So with the years, with the time, they acquired this atonement and they had to go through the same thing in the circus in Brazil 20, 30 years ago. And how some of them didn't need to go through this painful atonement. So I had explained before that in the book Heaven and Hell, and also in the book Self-Discover, An Inner Search from Joana de Angelis, both books, Heaven and Hell by Kardec and Self-Discovery from Joana de Angelis, Spirit, they both talk about we being able to our atonements, or like a lot of people talk about, karma, the bad karma. And how can we do that? I explained this already, but I'm just going to repeat because we got cut. So in Heaven and Hell, we can do it through 3 phases. The first one is the repentance, when we have this awakening in us. So we recognize that what we did was bad and we already feel bad about. The second is the atonement, when we feel the pain that we inflicted in someone. So we are going through that turmoil. And the third is the reparation. Reparation, when we pay back with love. And then I gave the example of a kid that used to kill cats, torture cats. Then he got older, he met someone that loved the animals and showed him how they need our love. And then the person felt the pain and finally went through the this person joined activities in order to help animals, abandoned animals. So the same example we bring to the Roman circles. So maybe some of the people that were in the Roman circles in that time enjoying to see the Christians dying, being burned, being killed by lions, this person had a spiritual awakening. So this person went through repentance, atonement, and reparation. So through these phases, this person did not need to go to the painful atonement of the circles. So this is just to be sure that you can understand that it's not because you did this that you will have to suffer this, that you will have to go through this, but it depends on going through these phases. So we will be able to clear our atonement, to clear our negative conscience of the things, the wrong. So this is important for us to understand from the book of Genesis by Kardec. And from Joana de Angelis, she talks about that anytime we do something wrong, we have to repeat and repeat and repeat until we are able to do it correctly. And it is true, we know that. So the good pianist is the one who practice until reach to perfection. And when reach to perfection, have to practice more and more to be able to keep up with the perfection. The same thing with us. So different types of lives. The first one is the life that the people are able to live in a constructing way, meaning love. So their conduct, their lifestyle is always positive. Yes, they have their mistakes, their issues, but they don't create major struggles, major negative things in their lives or in the lives of others. The other lifestyle is the lifestyle of destroying. So are those people that unfortunately accumulate a big amount of problems, of mistakes, and they will evolve too, but it will be much more painful because they will have to go through all the phases that I explained to you before. They will have to repent, atone, and finally repair. And the third part is the lifestyle that we can live as a reconstruction. So the lifestyle of reconstruction, Joana de Angelis explains, that's the way that we live, repairing our mistakes from the past. So let's suppose you did lots of wrongdoings. You go to the spiritual realm, you understand that what you did was wrong and you have to repair. You study, you practice, you do, you feel comfortable that you will be able to face this type of struggles. You reincarnate and you work hard to repair. You work hard to do positive things that you were not able. That's the way Joana de Angelis explained that we will be finally free from our atonements because we were able to work them in a positive way. So this was what I was trying to explain when the internet got disconnected. And then continue the reparation process. We have to understand that God, it's not this mean judge that besides writing every single thing we are doing, good or bad, is always judging with a very hard way. But it's really this loving mother and father that's always helping us to do good. So whenever the father is not gonna beat up the little kid, but it's gonna, like, the little kid is going to put the finger in the electrical socket. So the mother and father takes the kid out and say, no, this is gonna hurt you. This is bad. Don't do it. And then makes the kid to understand this is not good. And basically is that's always trying to give us new opportunities with the reincarnation. That's why we come back. We come back many, many, many times. And every time we come back, we are a little bit better. We are always improving. Every time we come back, we are improving. So I was also talking about charity and kindness. So there is a sentence here that I had put that no act of kindness, however small, is ever wasted. And it is true. Nothing. Everything good that we do for others, it will be always marked in our book. And I was giving an example that we're living now in this time of a crisis, in this time of coronavirus panic, pandemic of panic, that everybody is so afraid of everything. I am part of a application called Nextdoor that I always joke this is the Facebook of the neighbor because it's usually very local. And I see few people posted there volunteering themselves to go to the supermarket or to the drugstore to people that could not go. So they mention if you are elderly and you cannot get out of the house, if you're sick, if there is something that you can't, I'm here volunteering to go there for you, to help you. I don't know where you are, but depending on the location, to go to the supermarket is like, they are always in the supermarket. So the lines are very big, and for obvious reasons, the supermarket has to organize in small groups, so we are not gonna all go together. So people volunteering for this is beautiful. It's like the person is leaving their comfort zone, is leaving their house to go to buy groceries, medication, whatever, for a person they don't even know. So this is what we have to connect. We have to connect with people that are doing good, that are wishing good for others. And God sees all of these good things that we are doing. And these good things connect us with love, with others. Can you imagine how thankful will be this neighbor for a person that she doesn't even know, to help him doing this? So this is, it's very beautiful. And some covers a multitude of errors, and we know that we can make many mistakes, but the moment we change our minds, exactly like St. Paul, as most of you know, he was a very powerful man, rich, intelligent. He was the superstar of his time, and he followed the studies of Moses. He followed the Mosaic law very strongly. So in that time, he couldn't understand Jesus Christ. He couldn't understand these new teachings, and he thought it was against. And because he was very religious, he wanted to destroy that. But when he was able to shift and to understand that Jesus was not destroying the Mosaic law, but he was complementing it, he was helping it to get a little bit broader, then he switched, and he went to follow and to be a Christian. But you think, wow, but he condemned people, he condemned the Christians, he killed a Christian. So this is terrible. But then we go back to the atonement. So he was able to work so hard in the benefit of thousands of others that he was able to erase his mistakes with his own actions. So this is something we have to understand. We can't be just praying to God, help me, I want to be better. But we have to do our part. We have to exercise improvement. We have to exercise forgiveness. Help me to forgive, and as soon as something happens, I hate it. We are not doing a good job. And yes, I know forgiveness is, but if we don't start, it will never happen. We have to start in order to be able for this to really happen one day. So let me just see here. I guess you're my friend. Oh, I see Elder. Yes, Elder. I am continue the lecture, but because now I don't have time constrictions, I'm taking my time. But let's go. So then we go to talk about in the spiritual realm. So when we die, when we get out of the physical realm here, we go to the spiritual realm. So when we reach to the spiritual realm, we meet our spiritual guides, people that will come to us and they will, welcome Angie, I'm happy you arrived here. Let's review your background. It's almost like, let's check your resume. And then we go with them to understand how was our life, what was our plan, were we able to do it, we did a little bit, or we were able to do a lot of what we had planned. Then they will also show us our mistakes, they will show us our errors, and they will help us to understand how we could have acted in a different way to avoid that type of problem. But they will also bring us to spend some time, usually every single person spends some time in the spiritual realm, in the improvement, improving, studying, having experiences, working to the benefit of others, as you can see in the book or in the movie Nosso Lar, Astral City. There you can see how André Luiz was already a doctor, was a good person, but he still had to improve so much. And only after many years, he really understands what is to be a doctor with the heart, not just with the knowledge. And that's what we need. So these spiritual guides, they are the ones who are going to help us to understand our mistakes and to plan our future life. Yes, because as I just said, only through the reincarnation, we will be able to come back, face the same difficulties we couldn't overcome, and do it again. And every time we reincarnate, every time we improve. Every time we do a little bit of improvement. And this is very good. So the other point I wanted to talk is about the individual and the group evolution. So we evolve as person, but we evolve as collectivity. So our planet is evolving. So when the planet Earth evolves, all the inhabitants of the planet Earth need to evolve too. So it's connected. So if the planet is becoming a planet of regeneration, but some of the inhabitants are not, they will have to leave. So whenever they leave, whenever they die, if they are not able to keep up with the evolution of the planet, they will reincarnate in planets that are inferior. So we can talk about this a little bit later. So our beautiful planet, it equals a Spiritist Center. So what is a Spiritist Center? I would love to be able to have an interaction with you guys. But the Spiritist Center is our home, is a school, is a hospital, but it's also a temple that connects us in faith. So with these four figures, these four aspects, home, school, hospital, and temple, there are always turmoil. Imagine a family that everything is perfect. It's very difficult. I never saw a family that everything is perfect. But this family is connected, and even if there are turmoils many times, the love connects them, and many times they are able to overcome that. Brothers and sisters, mother and daughter, whatever is the situation. So you might be angry. She is my mother. She's very difficult, but she's my mother. She gave me life. So you should improve and forgive. Give the forgiveness. Don't be the person that's there. I'm only going to talk to her when she forgives, when she kisses my feet. Because you are not improving at all. You are expecting others to be better so you can be better. But we have to be proactive. We have to be the one that improves first, giving the example to others. Very important. And then I put a picture here of two ways. One way is the way of goodness, is the narrow door, is going towards Jesus. And we know there's always difficulties and trouble. And the other one is the wide door, where all kinds of things look so easy and so beautiful, but it can bring us a lot of struggles and problems. So we have to be very careful when we are going to be choosing our pathways. And we have to understand that even if, whenever we are going to take an important decision, our guardian angel is always with us, trying the best, screaming the good things. But we are the ones who take the decision. We are the ones who have free will. What they can do is to inspire us. But if we are troubled, if we don't even take a minute to pray or to meditate or to calm down, and we take a decision in the last minute without really thinking, we probably will not be able to connect with our guardian angel, and we will exercise. Is not the best. So we have to be very careful. Now I'm going to talk about the planet Earth in the regeneration phase. I already spoke about this before, but now it's a message from the Spirit Emmanuel. So in 1969, he told Chico Xavier, the medium, about a conference where Jesus and the solar system Christ spoke about the danger of, and he said that the earth was going to receive a 50 years moratorium. So this happened in 1969. So in the beginning of the lecture, I told you that Jesus is the governor of the planet Earth. So he is our Christ. But there are other Christs. Christ is the Christic Spirit, is this very, very enlightened spirit that guides planets. Christ. And he got together with other Christs trying to resolve the situation of our planet, helping our planet not to go through another war. So they extended this benefit to our beautiful planet, hoping that we wouldn't go in a war. And then highly evolved spirits are reincarnating on Earth to help us with this necessary progress, because we need to have like a pool. You have to, these spirits have to reincarnate to help us to evolve faster. So there are very enlightened spirits coming to Earth to help us with this. But we have to understand, because the Earth is evolving, all the spirits surrounding the planet, including the spirits that are in our lower zones connected to Earth, they also have to reincarnate. So they have to leave the lower zones to reincarnate as their last chance in order to progress. So there will be a lot of a turmoil with this. We are receiving many spirits that are enlightened to help us to progress, but we also are taking the spirits that are in the lowest zones for a long time, giving them an opportunity to reincarnate for the last time before Earth becomes really a regeneration, and then this type of spirits will not be able to live here any longer. So there was a fact that was very interesting, and I got this from a lecture of Divaldo Franco, a very famous medium from Brazil. So this was from 2011, and he was giving a lecture at the National Spiritist Conference in Brasília, Brazil, when at the end of the event, the spirit of Bezerra de Menezes talked through the mediumship of Divaldo Franco, and he said, the planet Earth just started its regeneration phase. However, the few initial improvements will be felt only after 50 or more years. So that's why in the beginning of the lecture I said, oh, Planet Earth is in the regeneration phase. This message was from 2011. We are in 2020. We are in the regeneration phase. But it's almost like just few tiny years in the regeneration phase. So we feel like it's still tests and atonements. We feel all the turmoil of a tests and atonements, and we will be feeling like this for a while. So I also had that I would love everybody to see, but because of copyrights, I can't. But you in your home, whenever you can, I really would like you to be able to see and listen the video. Imagine. I had a beautiful link where someone created the video with the videos, pictures connected to that. It was very beautiful. So if you could, from your home, please listen to the music, imagine, and try to pay attention in the words, in the beautiful words that he talks about, and how much peace and hope it brings to our hearts. And the final message that I wanted to tell everyone is that there is a reason for all of this that we are living right now. Yes, one of the reasons that I believe is because our planet is in this turmoil of a regeneration phase. We happens by a chance. Everything has a purpose. So in this moment that we are all having to practice social distancing, let's take this time to be positive. Let's try to disconnect from all these terrible videos that talk about horrible things and just bring us down to so much suffering and so much stress. And let's connect with something good. Let's exercise the power of prayer. Let's do things that we never had the opportunity. Let's, if you are with your kids and you could never take this time, play, talk to them, give the attention they need so much. If you are home alone, as so many people are, practice the real phone call the people you love, talk to them. They are in the same situation, but try not to be talking so much about how many died here, how many are infected there, the possibility of disgrace, because this is not going to help you. Whenever this person that might be even more stressed than you start going like this, just tell her, you know, let's remember when we just met. Let's talk about something good. What did you do today that you couldn't when you were in your crazy life and you really liked? So change the subject, change the vibration, change this heavy energy that our planet is going through. This has to start within us. Let's spread love, hope, faith, resignation, because we have to understand it came and it will shall pass. And when it passes, we, the whole planet, will change with this. And we will keep everything that's good, everything that we learned during this time. So I sincerely hope this message of positiveness can penetrate your hearts. And at this moment, I would like to invite you all that's going to be listening to me later on for a quick prayer to help all of us to benefit from it. God, our Master, Jesus, our dear brother, thank you so much for being with us tonight, inspiring, guiding, helping. At this moment, we are all in our homes. Most of us feeling lonely, some feeling stressed, others with anxiety, others without understanding if they are sick or not. We ask you, Master Jesus, to protect us, to guard us, to send all these spirits of love to our homes, to give us healing passes that will soothe our anxieties, will calm our hearts, will give us hope of better days, will help us to maintain our peace of mind, and we will connect us with different vibrations, with elevated thoughts, and with the much necessary hope and maintaining our faith. So please stay with us. Now, most than all, in this time of difficult crisis, stay within us in our hearts, always inspiring us. Every time a negative feeling appears, help us to understand the loving energy that heals all the pains and troubles. Thank you so much. So be it. So my friends, to all of you that will be listening to this later on, thank you so much. I'm so sorry for the internet disruption we had before, but from my heart to your heart, from my home to my home, I hope it benefited me, and in this chain of love, because that's what we need. Remember, hope, faith, and perseverance. Thank you. See you soon.